body and medicine, music, video.
In NBN News, a fresh look at upgrades coming to St Vincent's Hospital. Are You OK starts mental health conversations in Ballina. And the Northern Rivers golfer competing for a spot on the state side. The story's ahead next. A baby scream no parent should hear. Little Pixie's ordeal after a random fire extinguisher attack. I speak to her mum at 7. Join me.
Breathe fire into your investments with Ramara. Earn 7.6% interest fixed for 12 months.
Good rate.
Hey, what's going on? Get back into it.
Ramara. Cash, credit and real estate funds in the palm of your hand.
As I said the last time, I'm just the sign guy.
Come on, friend to friend. What's the house worth?
Oh, I don't know what's anything really worth.
That's deep.
No property price estimates trusted by the banks. Download the Domain app.
Can Finish handle the need for speed and clean all this before the whole team arrives? Easy. Effective in short cycles, Finish Ultimate Plus gives a deep clean and brilliant shine. What's your Finish challenge?
Can you imagine the view from up Bayside?
With budget direct cover, I'd say it was nothing but blue skies.
Insurance solved with Budget Direct.
With Light and Easy, you're cooking less, eating better and getting great results.
With Light and Easy, I've lost 43 kilos. Troy's lost 53 kilos. It was great because you didn't have to do the work yourself. There was no meal prepping, no grocery shopping. You just grab and go.
Enjoy healthy and delicious award-winning meals delivered to your door. No shopping, no cooking, no stress.
Light and Easy is a great investment for health, happiness and a happy life. I feel absolutely amazing. I feel like a new person.
Live a healthier, better life with Light and Easy.
Wait time 46 minutes. You are the 4th person in the queue. You are the 5th person in the queue.
When your internet gives you lemons,
Shortest person in the queue. You are the worst person in the queue.
get Tangerine.
Semi-final, they'll try to survive.
Hold on to your breath.
Lego Masters, tonight 7:30 on 9.
This program brought to you by Ramara. Out to perform. Cash, credit and real estate funds in the palm of your hand.
Tonight, Donald Trump dumps the G7 summit, his warning to the people of Tehran as the Middle East erupts.
Anthony Albanese's high-stakes meeting with the president scrapped.
A man fighting for life after a crash near Coffs Harbour.
Virtual power plant, the technology that could replace the Hunter's coal-fired stations.
And Billy Slater's angry takedown of a blues great on the eve of Origin 2.
This is NBN News with Gavin Morris and Natasha Baersdorf.
Good evening. Donald Trump's swift departure from the G7 summit has seen his high-stakes meeting with Anthony Albanese called off.
The Prime Minister left hanging, waiting for answers on defence and trade pacts.
Trumpeting a new trade deal,
Thanks very much.
the president leaves an old ally scrambling.
Very important document. Little windy out here. Give me that.
Tonight, Australia is also left picking up the pieces. White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt announcing a last-minute withdrawal via tweet.
Guys, I wish I could stay for tomorrow, but they understand. This is
Is there a reason,
big,
Mr. President,
big stuff.
Just moments earlier, Anthony Albanese clearly unaware of the change that was coming.
I look forward to the meeting and I look forward to it taking place.
Greg Norman had been called, Kevin Rudd brought to Canada to prepare for a meeting that's now off.
And have dinner with these wonderful leaders, and then I get on the plane. I have to be back early.
That dinner with just the leaders of the G7.
I loved it, and I think we got a lot done.
Beyond a first impression, the meeting was a chance to fight for reducing tariffs and protecting the AUKUS submarine deal. Earlier, the signs on subs seemed positive.
Yep, we're proceeding with that. It's a really important deal to both of us. I think the President is doing a review. We did a review when we came into government, so that makes good sense to me. But it's a really important...
We're very long-time partners and allies and friends. And
it was very positive, and I've seen the comments that were made.
The next opportunity to meet likely during the United Nations Leaders Week in September, well after a second round of tariffs are due.
I'm a tariff person. I've always been a tariff. Simple.
Donald Trump's decision is understandable, it's somewhat unavoidable, but entirely unfortunate for Australia, denying the Prime Minister the opportunity to form the very personal relationships he himself describes as vital.
It is to the detriment of Australia that the meeting has not been achieved.
Not having a meeting with Anthony Albanese at this critical moment demonstrates the contempt that the United States has for Australia.
We feel very confident about where the relationship is going with the Trump administration.
Prime Minister Albanese's already had, I think, 3 conversations with President Trump. There'll be other opportunities to engage.
But phone calls have their limitations.
You look a much younger and good-looking than I imagined through your voice.
Donald Trump now gone. Tonight, the G7 becomes the G6. The Prime Minister's pitch to the President postponed. In Canada, Charles Croucher, NBN News.
Donald Trump abruptly abandoned the G7 summit amid escalations in the Middle East.
But tonight he says his reason for returning to Washington is much bigger than brokering a ceasefire between Israel and Iran.
A conflict spiralling towards all-out war. The unravelling situation in the Middle East forcing the hand of the US president.
As soon as I leave here, we're going to be doing something, but I have to leave here.
Donald Trump jetting out of Canada and the G7 to convene his security cabinet in the Situation Room after delivering this alarming message. Iran cannot have a nuclear weapon. Everyone should immediately evacuate Tehran. Iran's capital city, home to some 10 million people, and many are racing to heed that warning. But its highways are gridlocked and its airspace is closed. The risk to passenger planes simply too high. There's already a growing number of civilian casualties on both sides. Israel's latest attack coming as a news anchor delivered a live report on Iran's state-run TV. This is what's left of Tehran's broadcasting corporation. Reportedly, the strike killed at least 26 people. Israel now claims full aerial superiority over Tehran, its prime minister ramping up his threats.
The forever war is what Iran wants, and they're bringing us to the brink of nuclear war.
In turn, Iran has launched retaliatory strikes. Israel's Iron Dome intercepting most of the bombardment.
I say Iran is not winning this war.
While the US president remains resolute in support for Israel, today Donald Trump wouldn't be drawn on what it would take for America to put boots on the ground.
The Pentagon says American forces are maintaining a defensive posture.
We're strong, we're prepared, we're defensive.
While Washington is now discussing the possibility of a meeting with Iran, a down-to-the-wire diplomatic push.
I think a deal will be signed or something will happen, but a deal will be signed. And I think Iran is foolish not to sign one.
Today it's Tel Aviv, tomorrow it's New York. I understand America first. I don't understand America dead. That's what these people want. They chant death to America.
These are the Middle East's two most powerful militaries, and there's no clear off-ramp for either side. Tonight, the world has one eye on the White House and the president, who promised peace. In the United States, Lauren Tomasi, NBN News.
There have been widespread tributes for veteran police officer Constable Keith Smith, who was shot dead while serving a warrant to repossess a home in Tasmania's northwest. Premier Jeremy Rockcliffe today leaving flowers at his station in Devonport as flags flew at half-mast.
His wife is distraught. They're in a space that they never expected to be in.
There are now questions about why the heavily armed Special Operations Group waiting at the gate as backup didn't lead the operation.
A man in his 60s is fighting for life after a motorbike and car collided at Valor Beach south of Coffs Harbour. Emergency services were called to the scene at around 2:30 this afternoon. The motorbike rider has been airlifted to Brisbane Hospital in a critical condition. The car's driver escaped injury.
Erin Patterson's defence team has tried to tarnish the prosecution case, claiming the lack of motive makes it more likely the mushroom lunch was an accident. The Crown disagreed, telling the court in its closing arguments the accused lied to the jury.
Erin Patterson has always maintained the mushroom lunch was a grave accident and she panicked. But in the prosecutor's final moments with the jury, she asked, if you were told that the meal you cooked and served to your family was thought to possibly contain death caps, what would you do? Would you go into self-preservation mode? Would you race away from hospital? Would you lie about the source of the ingredients? The Crown asking even when the truth could potentially save the lives of the people you claim to love, urging the jury to consider the case as a jigsaw puzzle, claiming one piece might not tell a whole lot, but together the picture starts to become clear. Then came Patterson's own claims that she's a forager and ate wild mushrooms, the prosecution alleging the only evidence that you have of the accused picking and eating foraged mushrooms comes from her own mouth. To accept the defence argument about this, you would really have to take her on her word. That is exactly what Erin Patterson's defence team wants the jury to do, telling them in its closing arguments the case boils down to two very simple issues. Her barrister asking, is there a reasonable possibility that death caps accidentally made it into the meal? And is there a reasonable possibility that Erin Patterson did not intend to kill or seriously injure her in-laws? Amber Johnston, NBN News.
Two senior Liberals have been dumped from running the troubled New South Wales division a fortnight after a controversial comment made about women. Former Victorian Treasurer Alan Stockdale suggested that women are so assertive new rules may be needed to make room for men. The federal takeover has also been extended by 9 months.
A man remains behind bars tonight after allegedly stabbing a woman in Woy Woy yesterday. Shortly after 5 a.m, police were called to a Bowden Road home and found a 49-year-old woman with stab wounds. A 21-year-old man was arrested at Parramatta bus station and faced court today. He's been charged with grievous bodily harm and a domestic violence order has been issued. He'll next face court on August 22.
A multi-million-dollar makeover of St Vincent's private hospital in Lismore is nearing completion, but the refurbishment wasn't what the Lismore diocese had always planned, originally intending to sell the site and set up a new facility.
A fresh new look for Lismore St Vincent's private hospital. 40 refurbished rooms, a fresh lick of paint and brand new scrubs. The project coming in at $2 million.
It's really changed the aesthetics, so really putting money into how the place looks.
But it was almost the project that never was. The Lismore Diocese originally planning to sell the site and build another facility at Uralba Street.
We already have a good facility that can be used, and the development of that seemed to be a better idea.
Operating since 1921, St Vincent's is the only private hospital between Coffs Harbour and Tugun in Queensland. CEO Alan Cooper says the facility is crucial in ensuring healthcare options for people in the Northern Rivers.
Really relevant that we are a hospital that can stay active and be available for the local community.
The refurbishment is the final step of the hospital's makeover. After a workplace culture review, a new enterprise bargaining agreement was reached with its nurses late last year.
We've spent a lot of time in educating our staff, a lot of money and effort putting into really creating a great place to work.
Monica Adair, NBN News.
Former Lismore Mayor Ros Irwin has passed away at the age of 82. Irwin was a councillor for nearly 18 years and served as Lismore's first female mayor between 1997 and 1999. Tributes are flowing on social media, many admiring her fighting spirit.
The Are You OK convoy stopped in Ballina today, encouraging locals to start conversations about their mental health. Part of a national tour, organisers will soon travel to Lismore and Grafton.
A sea of yellow at Ballina's Fawcett Park. The arrival of the Are You OK convoy in the Northern Rivers.
Really excited to be here in the Northern Rivers to check in on people because we know it's been a difficult start to the year.
Part of their regional outreach efforts travelling across Australia, the event promotes meaningful conversations around mental health and suicide prevention.
Getting access to some resources about how you can go back and have a conversation in your world, whether it's your workplace or your family. And
if someone asks you, are you okay, and someone says no, what do you do then? So we really focus on how do we build people's capacity.
In the Northern Rivers, the impacts of major weather events has contributed to poor mental health, including the 2022 floods and ex-tropical cyclone Alfred.
It can cause a lot of anxiety, loss of homes, displacement, and it's really important that we are looking out for one another, especially in those times.
Listening among the practical tools to encourage the conversation.
And sometimes all we need is someone to vent to, get it all out of our system, maybe go for a walk, have a cuppa, and get it out, but also know that there is support if you are going through something.
The convoy will travel to Lismore tomorrow before moving south to Grafton.
Really here looking out and supporting the community as best we can.
Alexandra Rees, NBN News.
And if you or anyone you know needs help, you can phone the mental health hotline on 1800 011 511 or Lifeline on 13 11 14. Lismore is encouraged to roll up its sleeves for Yukai River Care's first big community planting day on Sunday. The event will restore flood-damaged parts of the Tweed River to improve fish habitats and waterway health. Attendees are asked to bring their own planting tools, with the event to get underway from 8:30 a.m.
The founder of one of Coffs Harbour's top tourism attractions, Pet Porpoise Pool, has passed away at the age of 97. Stanley Goodall founded the rescue facility in 1970 before it was sold in 2023 and renamed the Coffs Coast Wildlife Sanctuary. A memorial service will be held in the coming weeks.
Australia's longest-running culinary competition for young chefs kicked off today in Grafton. TAFE students from Lismore to Coffs Harbour took part in today's regional cook-off.
Turning up the heat at the TAFE Grafton kitchen. Students given 2.5 hours to prepare a 2-course meal as part of the Nestle Golden Chef Awards.
The goal of the competition really is to support the next generation of chefs. It's to give the young culinary talent an opportunity to really test themselves so they learn new skills through the competition.
With an added challenge to incorporate 3 Nestle products into their dishes.
Well, it's a whole range of products, so it can be anything from chocolate. We've got a great range of gravies through Maggi. We've also got some desserts as well that they can use. So there's a big repertoire that they can create with.
Judges taking on the tough task of choosing the winners.
It looks at ideas and presentation, but ultimately flavour. That's what we're looking for. We're looking for new cooking styles. We're looking at old ingredients being used a different way.
The comp giving students an invaluable experience.
It's an opportunity for our students to absolutely know that they are on a par with all of their city cousins, and the food that they're producing is the same, if not better, in some instances.
I put a lot of time and effort into it, so yeah, I'm happy with how it all went.
I came in pretty nervous. Either
either way, I enjoyed myself today.
The winners of today's competition, Kira Bolton with her beef juice rump and caramel and banana filled mousse cake, and Matthew Duggan with his steak roulade. Alison Paul, NBN News.
That layer of cloud made for a cold day today.
You're watching NBN News. Still ahead, a death cap mushroom warning for parts of New South Wales after hundreds of calls for help.
Australia Post shake-up, the new style of store being rolled out across the country.
And the plane that didn't quite make the tarmac.
Oh yeah, it feels good to make progress. With Newcastle Permanent's great low rates and up to $3,000 cash back when you apply for your home loan online, we're here to help you move forward. And we're here for good.
TPG's high-speed NBN is only $64.99 a month, which means...
You're a winner!
What did you say?
You said you're a winner.
Guaranteed lowest price NBN, TPG.
Your home is precious, so are the things inside. And keeping them safe shouldn't cost a fortune. Quote and buy your home and contents insurance online with GIO, and you can save 10% on your first year premium. Get a quote today.
How should I wash my dress?
You should use a delicate cold cycle.
Okay. Do I just put it in?
Remember to turn it inside out to protect the sequins.
Can I put it in the dryer?
The icon on the tag says no.
Oh, thank goodness I asked. You just saved date night.
Tripperdeal's hottest points offer is back. This June, book your next bucket list holiday and earn 20,000 bonus Qantas points. Tour iconic Europe, cruise breathtaking Alaska, explore the wonders of Asia and more. Plus, continue to earn 3 Qantas points per dollar spent on every booking, boosting your points even further. Now that's more bang for your buck. Hurry, offer ends June 30. Search Tripperdeal now.
When you're living in a world of allergies, it's time for Allertine. Allergy relief. All day, all night, all year. Allertine. Get tough on allergies. Available at your pharmacy.
For those who demand more from every acre, there's no compromise. There's Deutz Far, built with more precision, more innovation, more comfort. This is what premium feels like in the field. The grass is greener with Deutz Far.
Adventure's calling. Time to explore more, camp more, carve around the mountain more, fish more, hike more, get out and hit the trails more. Play more, pay less with our 10% price beat guarantee. Anaconda!
This could be the only ad you see today that is actually good for your health. And not just because there's an offer at the end of it. This is like a massage for your brain. No clickbait, no annoying jingles. Just health insurance from a healthier place and up to $600 in e-gift cards when you join. T's and C's apply.
Death cap mushrooms are flourishing in gardens, backyards and forests across Sydney and regions to its south, prompting New South Wales Health to put out an urgent warning not to pick or eat any wild mushrooms. The exact suburbs where the death caps are growing have not been disclosed. So far this year, there have been 190 calls for help linked to wild mushrooms.
Australia's first parcel-only post office has opened in Melbourne. They'll begin popping up across the country as the company readjusts its business and raises the cost of a stamp again.
This is the first of its kind, a post office dedicated just to parcels, and Australia Post is now rolling these out nationally.
And it's all about recognising the continued growth in parcels through the e-commerce boom.
The National Postie says it carried a record-breaking 100 million parcels during the last Black Friday peak period and says the new format has developed out of necessity.
To the point where the number one reason for a customer to come into a post office these days is to collect a parcel. We think over the next 10 years that the whole market for e-commerce will double and the amount of parcels going through Australia will double.
Locations in Victoria and New South Wales are first, followed by Queensland and WA. The branches are open an extended 10 hours a day, but don't handle banking or most other postal duties. Letters are the past and parcels are the future, and you can see that throughout the business. In 2022, a stamp cost $1.10, but from next month there'll be $1.70. It's changes like that and investments like this, according to Australia Post, that let the business adapt and survive. So far, we're told, no plans for a wholesale post office change-up. This is just a trial.
That this is about complementing our full-service post office network.
Chris Kohler, NBN News.
Disturbing development in the assassination of Minnesota State Democratic lawmaker Melissa Hortman and her husband. Prosecutors now allege Vance Bolter travelled to the properties of two other Democrats, but they weren't home. The 57-year-old's been charged with murder and stalking and could face the death penalty if he's convicted.
Planes belong inside hangars, not on top of them, but that wasn't the case in the US state of Kansas. A small aircraft crashed onto this roof after a mechanical malfunction. The pilot and his passenger both escaped with non-life-threatening injuries. A driver's been jailed for leaving a trail of destruction in the Hunter and then leading police on a pursuit. Brett Kevin Anderson crashed into a Service New South Wales building along with a fence, parked car and a business in Cessnock in July last year. The 59-year-old then led police on a 12-kilometre pursuit to Sawyers Gully. Today Anderson was jailed for at least 12 months. He could be released on parole in March next year.
Coal-fired power stations could soon be replaced by computer technology, the newest tool in the shift to renewable energy. The New South Wales government today announcing its first virtual power plant designed to help keep prices down and the lights on.
As coal-fired power stations wind down, a new era powered by a cloud of online information is switching on.
All of them are on a trajectory in the next 15 years to close. So we're in the race to replace it with renewable energy, stabilise the grid on the way through and manage a really careful exit of coal-fired power.
The government launching their first large-scale virtual power plant today, run through private company NLX, who coordinate 21 businesses across 108 sites to reduce or shift their energy use for short periods when there is a surge in demand on the grid during cold snaps and heat waves. This will help keep prices down and the lights on.
On those very hot days when the coal-fired power plants are broken down, this is exactly what we need.
Visy Recycling Mill in Smithfield, one of the large factories that has signed up.
Western Sydney is supplying once again the work and the power and the needs for all of New South Wales, and it's exciting and we're up for it.
Businesses like this one will get paid by NLX to be involved. The government is also underwriting the program to reduce the risk and make sure that happens.
Businesses get paid as any generator would on the electricity grid, and the difference here is that this money is coming back and being reinvested in local businesses. 3
more virtual plants are due to be plugged in ahead of summer, collectively freeing up enough electricity to power more than 30,000 homes. Sophie Upcroft, NBN News.
The day was spent under a cover of cloud. It was all thanks to an unseasonal wet weather event unfolding over northern Queensland. There's also a cold front that is passing over the southeast. The moisture-laden trough over Queensland is going to move offshore. A large high will slide into place over New South Wales, making for a fine week ahead. There'll be some scattered high-level cloud, particularly over northeastern New South Wales and the Gold Coast. The sun, though, is going to be back in full force to the south, but the cold air is going to make for a chilly day overall, with top temperatures mostly in the mid to high teens.
Coming up next, a global manhunt goes wrong in the decades-long investigation of a murder cold case.
The world first diabetes treatment trialled in Australia that also cuts weight and cholesterol.
And Princess Kate's stunning return to an ancient tradition.
With UE's comprehensive car insurance, I feel safe because I'm covered for what life might throw at me.
This is Simon. When asked what he did over the weekend, he'll say, nothing special. He's hanging out with your favourite people, nothing special. Are these pub-style chips? Nothing special. Simon? Okay, there's something special about nothing special.
The Bingley end of financial year sale is on now.
It's famous.
So are the leading brands in kitchen, laundry, TVs, tech, small appliances, coffee machines, vacuums, and much more.
For much, much less.
On now at Bingley.
I'm fearless.
Anything else, Professor?
Drive fast. F1 the movie. And there is only one. I'm alive. Just kidding. I'm dead inside, emotionally. But that's neither here nor there. There's still only one cure for hungry, thirsty, and that's Oak. With its full strength and full taste, it's full on. Oh, Oak. Cure hungry, thirsty, dead.
It's cold, it's so gloomy when you're gone. Oh, I will wait till you are back. Then the morning light will break and I'm gonna make you mine, I'm gonna make you mine.
Feel good health, catch on with Bupa, with up to 12 weeks free when you join directly on eligible products. For award-winning health insurance, search Bupa 12 weeks free today.
The end of financial year deals at Nissan just got bigger. Until June 30, get $3,000 cash back on select variants. Plus, get 1.9% finance on select variants when you finance with Nissan. Head into your local Nissan dealer today.
Personal injury claims can be intimidating. You need a compensation lawyer experienced enough to take control. Someone you can trust. Backed by a team they trust. When you're serious about getting the job done, you need a tractor that delivers day after day. Coyote gives you the features that matter. Right now, score big end of financial year deals with 1.89% finance over 24 months. But hurry, offer ends August 31st. Ballina Golf and Sports Club. Your journey starts here.
Hi.
Hi.
Family holiday?
Yeah, we're really looking forward to spending time together.
Have you been before?
Indonesian police have arrested two men over a fatal ambush hit at a Bali villa on Saturday. One was found in Jakarta while the other was caught making his way there following the attack. 32-year-old Zavan Radmonovic died and Sanar Ghana was badly wounded in the organised hit. Police are now questioning the detained duo.
A Qantas pilot has passed out in the cockpit minutes after landing a Boeing 737 in Sydney. The trainee captain fainted after touching down from Canberra last week. The aircraft carrying 113 passengers and 8 crew members.
Qantas 804, just Demba, we're going to be a couple of minutes. We'll call you back when we're ready to take ticket. And ground to Qantas 804, we're ready to take ticket.
Qantas 804, just grab us, is any services required or is it all fine?
Negative, all fine.
Qantas says staff followed the standard procedures but refused to comment on what caused the pilot to pass out.
One of the two doctors charged in relation to the death of Friends star Matthew Perry will plead guilty to multiple charges, including the distribution of ketamine. Dr. Salvador Plasencia is facing 40 years in jail if convicted. Perry died aged 54 in October 2023 after drowning in a hot tub at his Los Angeles home. It's the most visited museum in the world, but the Louvre in Paris didn't live up to that status overnight. Staff striking, saying the institution is crumbling under the weight of mass tourism. Thousands of confused visitors were stuck in unmoving queues outside, one saying even the Mona Lisa needs a day off.
A triumphant return for the Princess of Wales to an ancient ceremony nearly 700 years old. Kate joining the King, Queen and other members of the royal family for the Order of the Garter, a grand and majestic display of British tradition.
When it comes to royal pomp and ceremony, this event is hard to top. Dark velvet robes, ostrich feather hats, the Order of the Garter is the oldest and most senior order of chivalry in Britain. The King, Queen and Prince William in full regalia, part of a procession through the grand grounds of Windsor Castle and into St George's Chapel. Duchess Sophie and the Princess of Wales sharing a laugh while watching on. Kate stunning in a white dress and hat at the annual meeting of Knights and Ladies, the same outfit she wore for the VE Day concert in May. The future Queen forced to skip last year's ceremony while she underwent chemotherapy. Prince Andrew, who is still a Knight of the Garter, told to stay away for a fourth straight year. This event, just days after trooping the colour, a busy week for the King, who's still having weekly treatment for cancer. The monarch also set to attend Royal Ascot in coming days. Jessica Millward, NBN News.
WhatsApp users will soon be targeted by ads in an effort to create new revenue stream for the messaging platform. The app's owner, Meta, says users won't see advertisements on messages or calls, but on the Updates tab, which is used by as many as 1.5 billion people a day. The move is considered a backflip after its original founders vowed to keep the platform ad-free when it was created in 2009.
It was meant to be a breakthrough in a 22-year-old cold case, the arrest in India of a man wanted over a murder in Sydney. But after nearly a month behind bars, a New Delhi court realised he was the wrong person.
The body of a man found in a wheelie bin in Redfern in 2003, the result of a drug deal gone wrong. The key suspect had already fled the country, but a month ago, Australian authorities thought they'd found him in India. Or had they?
There is a similarity of name between these two fellows, and this was a case of mistaken identity.
The man accused of the crime, Basharuddin Mohammed, was placed on the state's most wanted list. The man Indian police arrested, Mohammed Basharuddin.
He was very shocked and crying continuously for some 2 to 3 days.
Lawyers for Mohammed Basharuddin told the court their client was 16 at the time of the murder. His passport was only issued in 2016 and he'd never been to Australia. And when they finally received fingerprint data from Australian authorities,
The fingerprints of my clients were also taken in the court and they were sent to the forensic science lab, and the report was brought in a sealed envelope. When the envelope was opened, obviously it was different. Only 10 digits they did not match.
lawyers for Mohammed Basharuddin say his arrest was based on information provided by the Australian Federal Police via Interpol. Now, when 9 News asked the AFP about their involvement and why they thought they had the right man, they refused to comment.
How it is possible that a person only for a similarity in name can be arrested and he has been kept for 22 days? But I know that truth prevails.
New South Wales Police offered a $100,000 reward for information almost a decade ago. They say this cold case is still being investigated. Eddie Meyer, NBN News.
A treatment that sends an electric pulse into a patient's gut is showing signs of controlling the impact of type 2 diabetes. The world-first trial by Australian scientists is offering hope to people living with the condition.
Type 2 diabetes often dominates Kim Lavori's life, from the medications
6 and an injection once a week.
to the endless decisions about what she can and can't eat.
You're constantly battling with yourself.
Around 1.3 million people across the country face the same struggle, but
we have about 500,000 of Australians that are probably living with type 2 diabetes that are undiagnosed.
increasing rates are driving the effort to find new treatment options, like the world-first reset procedure.
It's like a gastroscopy where you have under general anaesthesia, you have a device put down your throat
remote. It allows electric pulses to be transmitted into the duodenum, which is the early part of the small bowel, which resets the lining.
Early trial results have shown that impacts the system's sensitivity to food, reducing blood glucose levels and weight.
Having a once-off procedure to improve your weight and your diabetes could be a real game changer.
But further testing is needed, so the Australian scientists spearheading the trial are recruiting more participants. To be eligible to be considered to take part, patients must be aged between 22 and 70, diagnosed with type 2 diabetes and taking between 2 and 4 blood sugar controlling medications, but not insulin. They also need to be willing to have ongoing long-term follow-up with the research team.
If that one procedure can make that difference to someone's life with type 2 diabetes, I'd take it in a heartbeat.
Tabcorp has been hit with a $4 million fine after breaking Australia's spam laws by sending more than 5,000 marketing messages. The Communications and Media Authority found that the gambling provider sent more than 2,000 texts to VIP customers without providing an option to unsubscribe.
Motorists around Australia are facing a nervous wait to see if rising global oil prices will trigger pain at the petrol bowser. More from Chris Kohler.
The price of oil has risen about $12 a barrel so far this month. That acts a bit like a handbrake on the economy. How much of a handbrake? Well, the situation has certainly been worse, but if this latest oil spike is maintained for about 2 weeks, then in theory, Australian petrol prices will rise by about 12 cents. That would take the unleaded price above $2 per litre in most capital cities, which would have implications for household spending and possibly the Reserve Bank. That's if the oil price remains where it is now. The reason Treasurer Jim Chalmers today said he has genuine concerns is that it could keep rising. Looking to our share market, another steady day today with gold stocks on the rise once again, while banks had a weaker session, and the Australian dollar is back above 65 US cents, also buying 56.5 euro cents and 48 British pence.
Nearly 50 years after producing one of music's most iconic clips, there's a push to bring AC/DC back to Swanston Street in Melbourne during their Australian tour. The Lord Mayor admitting it's a long shot.
This is a city of opportunity and miracles. We can live in hope.
The legendary rock band will head down under later this year, marking their first Australian tour in nearly 10 years. Bring it on.
Fingers crossed.
Yes, let's move to sport now. That's a nice opening tune for Adam Murray.
It sure is, Adam. Well, Billy Slater has aimed up at a Blues great.
He sure has. Good evening, guys. The Maroons coach responded to criticism from Aaron Woods, and he didn't miss. Also ahead, why basketball great Luke Longley was in Blues camp as they prepare for Game 2. Plus, Dom Young welcomed back into the fold at the Knights. And good news on the personal front at last for the Swans.
Good health is
Chicken salad, thanks.
contagious. Make it 2.
3, please.
Get 2 Specsavers hearing aids for the price of none. You heard right, $0 cost to you. Specsavers has got you covered, so book a hearing appointment today. Conditions apply under the Australian Government Hearing Services Program. Standard range only.
Frankie said she's a fan of impersonation, but not of people impersonating Australia Post. That's why we've made all delivery updates available on the AusPost app, so she'll know they're from us, and us alone. You ask, we deliver at Australia Post. $200 bill credit. That's a $200 bill credit just for switching your electricity online and staying with AGL. Switch to AGL today and join the change.
Visibly plump it, brighten it, and fill it with Nivea Cellular Expert. Each powered by an effective ingredient. Try layering it your way with Nivea Cellular Expert. Skin is for owning it. Nivea is for skin.
I'm just going for a break.
I want to break free. I want to break free.
Have a break. Have a Kit Kat.
Rest makes it simple to manage my super.
I wonder if an outdoor adventure could be that simple.
Rest. Super simple.
Do you want a new roof? Call Rooftech Roofing now. We can remove your old tile or metal roof and replace it with a brand new ColourBond roof. We also specialise in new gutters and downpipes, whirlybirds and wall cladding. Rooftech Roofing are a locally owned company, servicing customers from Tweed Heads to Yamba and west to Casino. For a free, no obligation quote, call Rooftech today on 66811793. Rooftech, we do everything roofing.
When you work as hard as you do, you need workwear that can keep up with you. Durable, comfortable and dependable. Aussie Digger has the right gear for you. King G, Hard Yakka, Bisley, Elwood, Workcraft and more. Aussie Digger. Shop in store or online.
Kingscliff Nursery. Over 5 acres of trees, native shrubs and exotic plants. Huge range of fruit trees, indoor and outdoor plants, pots, planters and much more. Buy direct, save heaps. Remember to say hi to Sally at Kingscliff Nursery, Cudgeon Road, Cudgeon.
Welcome to The Link. With beautiful gardens and event spaces, it's the perfect place for family gatherings, ceremonies or celebrations. Catered corporate meetings are also easy, and Donovan's Cafe is a perfect partner. Open 7 days. Call or visit our website.
Come to Watson's Leisure Centre for all your outdoor needs, with new and used caravans and motorhomes for sale or hire, plus spare parts, accessories, services, repairs and upgrades. The Watson's Leisure Centre will make your life of leisure easy.
Billy Slater has unloaded on former Blue Aaron Woods over comments he made about the Queensland coach on radio. Slater says the media has a responsibility not to get personal in its criticism of others in the game.
The joint press conference at Origin time is the equivalent of a boxing weigh-in, usually without the argy-bargy though. But the Queenslanders were not impressed by the Blues, who were 10 minutes late today.
Could be mind games, but they've got their opportunity to obviously make it 2-0. They could probably do what they want.
But that wasn't the biggest issue. Billy Slater, emotional and angry, a week after being labelled a grub on breakfast radio by former Blue Aaron Woods.
I know Aaron Woods. I actually ran into him about 3 or 4 weeks ago at a footy game, and he didn't voice that opinion then. He actually brought his son over to introduce him to me. When you degrade someone personally in a derogatory manner, you probably don't deserve one of those privileged positions that we're all in.
Slater took the attack a step further by referencing Paul Green, the former Queensland coach who took his own life. He was diagnosed with CTE.
You don't know what people are going through. And although I might be able to handle it, the next person mightn't be. Maybe our last coach didn't.
On the football front, the Blues got their first look at Optus Stadium. Dylan Edwards went through his own preparation, and Nathan Cleary practiced kicking without actually kicking. He then didn't run with the main group, raising concerns about his fitness.
Just a bit of load management. Obviously got a lot of work done through the week, and today was our lightest session.
Looking for an Origin edge, the Blues brought basketball legend Luke Longley into camp. He was joined by a pair of cricket greats, but Longley was the man who spoke to the team.
You don't get a call from Laurie Daly every day saying, "Hey, Luke, come and have a chat to our players." And players are players, whatever sport you're playing at, they're always in for something new and hearing other stories. Being around people at the top of their craft and as fit as they can be and all pulling on their own oar to try to get something great done, that's always fun to be around, no matter which side you're on.
So you have to be a Blue now, mate?
I reckon I am.
Danny Weidler, NBN News.
Dom Young has been thrust straight into the night side days after his mid-season transfer from the Roosters. In an added boost to Newcastle's backline, Bradman Best will also board the plane to Perth to take on the Dolphins. A familiar face has returned to Knights HQ. Dom Young, back where it all started in red and blue.
It's still a bit weird seeing him around because obviously he hasn't been here for a while, but I'm really close with Dom and I'm really happy to have him back. He's a great lad and obviously a great player too, and it's good that he's home.
The towering Englishman trained with his teammates for the first time this morning, preparing to lace up the boots for Newcastle this weekend in Perth.
He's obviously a good kick target for us. He's 8 foot tall, so it's good to have him back, and we got some great kickers in the team. So yeah, he's got a great arsenal there of weapons he has, and I'm excited to have him on our team again.
3 days ago, he was on the other side of the field, helping the Roosters beat the Knights.
He handled himself really well, Dommy. He doesn't give you a whole lot as it is, but he just went about his business and did his job, and I thought he was outstanding for us. Got us out of our end really well. And then, now he's a Knight.
Young isn't the only inclusion for Saturday's clash against the Dolphins. Bradman Best, Tyson Frizzell and Fletcher Sharp have all been named to return from injury.
The boys coming back, they got, the experience there and they know what to do, but it's about, feeding off the energy the young boys are giving them, and I think they'll fit back in seamlessly.
Boasting the best defence in the competition, the Knights hope to contain the Dolphins, who've scored half centuries in back-to-back games.
Coming up against a good attacking team, you need to defend well. I know everyone's saying our attack's not where it needs to be, but the way we play footy, we don't care if we don't score as long as we win.
The Swans' fight to salvage their AFL season is set to receive a massive boost. Errol Goulden and Tom Papley both trained today and are in line to make their long-awaited returns from injury against Port Adelaide on Saturday. That's alongside Joel Amati, who's back from suspension. Meanwhile, Aaron Cadman believes he and Jesse Hogan have unlocked something special for the Giants after the two forwards start against the Lions with 11 goals between them.
Having Jesse there is massive, not only for me, but I feel like having me there is also big for him. We provide each other opportunities that you wouldn't usually get if you're 1 minute down there.
The Giants face another top 8 test at home on Sunday, this time against the Suns. After the break, Oklahoma City inches closer to breaking a 4-decade-long NBA title drought.
To security, you can never have too much. Westpac, layers and layers of scam and fraud defence.
You haven't shopped around until you've tried Yui. Huh? You should shop around if you're not happy with your car insurance. Or your barber.
For award-winning customer satisfaction, make the change to Yui. You insured.
Discover the award-winning Emerald Cruises River Experience. 10-day luxury Mekong River Cruise from only $4,595. Visit emeraldcruises.com.au today.
TPG's high-speed NBN is only $64.99 a month, which means...
You're a winner.
Milo! Guaranteed lowest price NBN, TPG.
Get the power of end of financial year savings
at Tyre Power.
You get a great break when you buy 3 and get 1 free on a great range of Toyo tyres.
Get in before June 30 at Tyre Power, Australia's biggest independent.
So don't forget it. It's just a simple phase I'm going through. You lay your bets and then you pay the price. The things we do for love, the things we do for love. Don't let cricket stop. No, I love it. Hey, I don't.
For those who demand more from every acre, there's no compromise. There's Deutz Far, built with more precision, more innovation, more comfort. This is what premium feels like in the field. The grass is greener with Deutz Far. Fig Tree Estate Kyogle, generous acreage lifestyle block sized from 2 acres to 6.3 acres. With almost 50% sold, don't miss the opportunity to build your dream home amongst these beautiful natural surrounds. For more information, contact PRD Northern Rivers.
Go Harvey Norman half-yearly clearance. Save $1,000 on Samsung 75-inch mini LED smart TV, now under $2,000. LG 12-kilo front-load washer, now under $1,000. Save $500 on Dreamy robotic vacuum and mop. Best prices guaranteed at Harvey Norman now.
This report brought to you by Harvey Norman. Half-yearly clearance on now. Best brands, best range, best prices. Guaranteed.
Oklahoma City is one win away from the NBA championship. Jalen Williams posting 40 points to lead the Thunder to a 120 to 109 point win over the Pacers in Game 5 of the finals. They'll take a 3-2 series advantage to Indianapolis on Friday, hunting their first title in 46 years. Coffs Harbour skater Georgia Wynn is keen to prove she belongs on the sport's biggest stage. The 12-year-old has secured a wild card for this weekend's Skate Australia Pathways in Brisbane.
She's a motivated, talented and speedy skater. And with a win at Newcastle's King of Concrete event already to her name, 12-year-old Georgia Wynn hopes her wildcard entry will put her firmly on the Skate Australia selectors' radar.
I've definitely progressed a lot over the years, and I feel like these are the years where I'm going to start to go even more further with my skating.
And she's got it down to an art, hitting the skate park 4 times a week with 1 coaching session to ensure she completes her tricks, making the moves look effortless.
She's keen, so that's the big thing. She wants it, so it'll be up to her and her coach Bevan here at Chalkies to see how far they can take her.
The focus this week?
Just a little bit of game plan stuff for comp day. Just sort of working on headspace around that. Not much to do in terms of ability and technique a week before.
Judges scoring the number of tricks, the tricks themselves, and use of the entire bowl.
I just want to have fun and do the best I can and try and make it onto the team.
The Pathways competition is designed to foster skateboarding talent and development, building towards a national competition series and championships in 2026. Britt Ramsey, NBN News.
Ballinar's David Scott will compete at the State Golf Croquet Bronze Medal event this weekend. At stake, a spot in the New South Wales side.
Okay. A smile on his face as he puts in his final preparations on the green. 68-year-old David Scott, eager to compete at the New South Wales Golf Croquet ACA Bronze Medal this weekend.
8 people have been invited to this, and I'm ranked number 7, so I'm looking forward to some really tough games.
The 3-day competition will be held at Manly Croquet Club. Invitation only. It'll take a round-robin format.
2 of the players, one won the New South Wales Men's Open earlier this year, and the other one won the Open Singles earlier this year.
The winner not only picking up bragging rights, but the opportunity to represent the state in the ACA Gold and Silver Medal event in the Hunter Valley in September. A prestigious honour David has his eye on, playing the sport seriously since 2017.
And at the end of the day, you've got to be able to execute the shots, but it's a lot of tactic and strategy in a game of golf croquet.
All the action will get underway on Friday. Alexandra Rees, NBN News.
And that is our look at sport, guys.
Thanks, Adam.
All right, thank you so much, Adam. Cold underneath that layer of cloud today. When will it clear? You'll find out after the break.
Tonight, after a current affair, a blockbuster Lego Masters. Then, Freddy and the 8th Origin Special. Tonight, after a current affair, a blockbuster Lego Masters. Then, Freddy and the 8th Origin Special.
IGA, great value is easy to find with 50% off Rexona, like Rexona Antiperspirant Spray 220ml, $4.75 each, and Morning Fresh Dishwashing Liquid 900ml, $4.75 each, half price. IGA, you can't beat local.
Rough cold breath. Try Vicks Vapor Drops Extra Strong. How's the nose and throat?
Try new extra soothing Vapor Drops with real honey.
You can
can support the Blues with your jersey.
Up the Blues!
Some face paint, a bit of ink, and now you can even support the Blues at Macca's. Get one of 6 legendary cups with the new Blues meal.
When you're serious about getting the job done, you need a tractor that delivers day after day. Coyote gives you the features that matter. Right now, score big end of financial year deals with 1.89% finance over 24 months. But hurry, offer ends August 31st.
Does your weekend look like this? Short Stay Ultimate Getaway on Royal Caribbean.
Go Harvey Norman half-yearly clearance. Huge deals on King Coil by AH Beard. Cairo Reserve Queen mattress just $14.99. Or the amazing Cairo Estate mattress only $18.99. Plus bonus standard local delivery on selected purchases. Best prices guaranteed at Harvey Norman now.
Tank World's up to 50% off any financial year sale. Save up to 50% off our entire range of slimline tanks and Tank World pumps from 330 to 5,000 litres. 10 days only, 100% Australian owned. 1-800-68-69-70.
Best sheds up to 40% cheaper. Farm sheds $11,990. Industrial buildings only $18,600.
Best Sheds 25% off sale is on right now.
Call Best Sheds on 1-800-15-1780.
Every journey is shaped by people, and your path home should be led by people who value community. People like ours. McGrath, guiding you home.
A help company would get people back on their feet, make complicated stuff simple, and even try to predict the unpredictable. So that's what we're doing. NRMA Insurance, a help company.
Quite a layer of cloud making its way right across eastern Australia throughout today, all thanks to an unseasonal wet weather event, mostly affecting the northeast of Queensland over the northern tropics. The other area receiving rain is the southeast due to that vigorous cold front that's been moving through. So quite overcast today as expected, and that makes for very cold mornings. Takes forever to get warm because you've got all that cold air, the katabatic, the cold air sinking off the mountains underneath that layer of cloud and no heating from the sun. Now, all of that is going to clear. We've still got the tail end of it, so we're going to have a little bit of it left over throughout tomorrow, but generally remaining fine, and we should start to see increased sunshine. Some wet weather on the way in the west, but otherwise very wintry right throughout the southeast. Sydney's got clear skies. Temperatures will plummet tonight, particularly throughout the western suburbs and the foothills of the Blue Mountains. It's going to be super cold there. But warming up, jumping back over 20 degrees for Brisbane, the Alice, 21s galore there, all fine for Darwin and Cairns. Well, it is going to become somewhat drier. Cool today with that cover of cloud, a little bit milder overnight, but it was just a very cold morning, as I was explaining last night's weather. You've got the milder nights, but the very cold mornings, and it takes forever to heat up, and some areas just don't get there at all. That cloud layer is just too thick, so 16s, 17s. Today we had 19 at the Tweed. That was the best that we could come up with. There's the cold air sinking off the mountains again tomorrow morning, the southwesterlies, and a little bit of a southerly build throughout tomorrow. We should start to see most of that high-level cloud begin to break up as we progress into the afternoon and evening period. Then it's going to be gone, and then we've got a pretty nice run on the way. So overcast again overnight, making for milder nighttime temperatures. Cold morning, but it should improve nicely. Warming, and we should hopefully then make our way into the high teens, definitely, and we may see some 20s emerge there with the sunshine. They're starting to reveal itself into the afternoon, but a little bit milder there towards the border as always. Only a metre of swell, not much going on at the moment, so very quiet times for our oceans. Sunrise 6:38 down at 4:58 as we look at this tidal info. Low tide tomorrow morning 20 to 8, so we'll be hitting the high tomorrow afternoon at 20 to 2, so not much swell there, but we've got a good run. Showers, not much in this. There's a little bit of wet weather closing in over the weekend, just a brief isolated shower or two and a little bit of cloud cover, but the temperatures are going to remain fairly comfortable. It's a mild run from here on in. Getting on the other side of that high pressure system, we'll see some warmth there begin to build consistently up and over 20 degrees for pretty much every location by the time we get to the end of the week, and for the weekend remaining dry for Grafton and the Clarence. Let's take a look at our beaches. Well, this sums it up. Small waves at the moment, still clean. It was overcast, dark, grey today, but we'll start to see some sunny periods build as early as tomorrow for the southern areas of the northern rivers.
Thank you, Gav. And finally tonight, Ford is recalling nearly 30,000 vehicles because of an issue with its reversing cameras. It applies to several models made between 2022 and 24, including the Ford Mach-E, F-150, Ranger, Everest, Mustang and Transit. A software glitch means the camera may not display an image while reversing. If you own an affected vehicle, you can contact your local Ford dealership for a free fix. And that is NBN News for this Tuesday. A current affair up next, and we'll have updates throughout the evening.
So thanks for your company from all of the NBN team.
Good night.
Good night. Stay.
Hello, I'm Ali Langdon. Welcome to A Current Affair. For them, it was a rush of adrenaline, a way to kill time on a Sunday night. But for baby Pixie and her parents, it was horrifying. Two teenagers pulling up on an e-bike beside the family car and spraying a fire extinguisher inside, covering the 5-month-old in foam. It's not the first incident of its kind in the area. Little Pixie was hospitalised and her parents, understandably, are traumatised. Her mum Tiffany joins me from the Sunshine Coast with little Pixie. Tiffany, I'm so sorry to hear this happen to your beautiful bub. How is she doing?
She's doing really well now. We're just going to have to keep an eye on her breathing and make sure no chest infections come after this. But she's doing really, really well.
Okay, she looks like she's a pretty happy, content, easygoing baby. Am I reading the vibe right?
Yes, she's usually pretty happy most of the time. We don't really get a lot of crying from her. I think we got pretty lucky.
Okay, so she's okay now. Can I ask, how are you? Because this is a pretty traumatic thing to go through.
Look, I'm still pretty rattled. My partner is also pretty rattled. I don't think it's something that we're ever probably going to get over. I know my partner still has flashbacks from opening that car door and seeing her covered in powder and seeing the look on her face when she was pretty much in shock, and I'll never forget the phone call that I got.
So can you just explain that? As you say, your partner Leon was driving the car. What did he tell you about what happened?
At first, I was a bit confused. I didn't really understand what was going on as he was so upset. He wasn't making a lot of sense, and he explained that someone had opened a fire extinguisher into the window and pretty much gassed the baby and him out.
Who the hell does something like that?
I know, I really don't understand what was going through their heads myself. I don't know what type of person would really do that to a baby. Or even, they didn't even know who was in the car, especially. It could have been anyone that was in the car. It could have been an elder, a newborn baby. It literally could have been anyone.
Can I just say, how good are mums? I mean, you're just doing an interview about something that's pretty traumatic, bouncing a baby. We're getting close. It's pretty much witching hour. You're amazing.
She's just recently learnt that new noise that she's been making right now. So that's a new thing that's happened.
And you know what's so nice about this? We're seeing her now and that she is right as rain. But when you took her to hospital, she was covered in this foam, which is terrible for a baby. What did they do when you got her there?
They took her in and decided that they needed to do 100 mils of saline solution in her eyes. It was 50 mils each eye, and it was a lot. I've never seen that much before. It was probably about that much in each eye. And the doctors held her down, and my partner helped hold her down too. And they kind of just squirted the stuff inside of her eyes, and she was screaming. That's a scream I've never heard before. I've never heard.
You know, and you know what? They bounce back from that stuff, but it takes us a little bit longer, doesn't it?
Oh, definitely. I mean, this is something she probably won't remember, but this is something that we're going to remember for the rest of our lives.
So Pixie and Leon, they're the most important thing and they're okay. How's the car?
Look, the car's not looking all that great. I've spoken to a few people and they think they could be a potential to ride off with the car. We've wiped down the car, we've cleaned it probably about 3 times, and the foam just keeps on popping up. The powder just keeps on coming up. I feel like there's nothing we can do to make it go away. A lovely lady has reached out and offered to detail the car free of cost. Her company's called Grindbusters, and I just wanted to say a massive thank you to her. But at this point, we don't know if it's going to be just cosmetic damage or external damage. We don't even know at this point what insurance is going to cover either.
Okay, I don't feel Pixie's got much longer in her, so I'll keep this part quick. This is all because 2 stupid kids wanted to play a stupid prank.
Exactly, that's exactly right.
Yeah. Do you know that it happened to a restaurant the night before? They were sprayed while customers were inside, and we also have video from the same area early this year. No idea if they're linked, but it's clearly a problem. What is your message to anyone who thinks it is funny to do something like this?
This is not funny. You're playing with people's lives. You don't know who could have been in that car, and that honestly just makes it even worse. Please think before you do. I don't know if you think this is funny or if you think you look tough doing this type of thing. You don't look tough either. Just get your act together. Please come forward to the police and do the right thing and stop terrorising the neighbourhood.
Well said, Tiffany, and all the best to you, Leon and little Pixie. I think little Pixie's saying, Mum, we're done here. Thank you so much.
I'm ready for bed. Thank you so much for your time.
Yeah, it is definitely time for bed, and the culprits are still on the run. If you're around the Sippy Downs area on Sunday night and have any information, please contact police. Well, she's the self-confessed biohacker and wellness queen, giving controversial advice to her followers. Camilla Thompson claims drinking industrial dye and eating volcanic rock could prolong your life. Tonight, part 2 of our investigation, where we uncover a loophole in her nutritionist qualification.
I'm a registered and insured nutritionist and health coach.
For goodness sake, stop calling yourself a nutritionist.
Camilla Thompson's nutritionist credentials are under fire following a lively book launch.
And I'm going to call the police because this is not a
do you have, Camilla? Camilla, what qualifications do you have to promote this? Camilla hit back minutes after last night's report, questioned her beliefs on sunscreen.
Sunscreens that are full of so many chemicals, and they cause cancer.
And her promotion of substances not approved by the TGA for over-the-counter use.
I had blue gums and a blue tongue for 3 days, and I was weeing blue.
Like consuming industrial dye and volcanic rock to live healthier, longer lives.
It appears that my book is creating quite a stir here in Australia, and that's okay.
What's not okay is Camilla using the title of Qualified Nutritionist, according to Joshua Sutherland from the Australasian Association and Register of Practicing Nutritionists.
With that term nutritionist being given to someone who fundamentally does not have the training to be able to understand where that line in the sand ought to be.
Camilla sent us a list of various qualifications, including this: a certificate in nutrition, a 12-month online course from private training company Vast Fitness Academy. When you see an ex-student of Vast Fitness promoting drinking industrial dye, eating volcanic rock to live
That's a new one.
What do you make of that?
Garbage. There's no science behind any of it.
Dane McDonald is the owner of Vast Fitness Academy.
Like any of our programs that we teach are evidence-based. They've got science behind them to support them. Like stuff like that is completely outside the scope of practice of what we teach our students.
Chairman of the Clean Health Group, Dane McDonald!
McDonald is a fitness buff turned successful businessman.
If you like more stuff like this, click the link below, subscribe, like, share, and I'll see you next time.
But the Camilla controversy has landed his Vast Fitness Academy's 12-month nutrition certificate in the crosshairs of university degree qualified nutritionists. They've done at least 3 years full-time study at uni, plus clinical hours.
When you have a course like the one in question that is purporting to graduate individuals as a nutritionist, but core to the competency, they can only engage with health and healthy people, that is incongruent with what people expect when going to see those individuals.
Vast Fitness Academy has graduated thousands of students, and their certificates are nationally recognised by the Nutrition Council Australia, an optional membership body owned by Vast Fitness Academy Director Dane McDonald.
The people who had constructed the course were also constructing a very elaborate framework around it to make it seem like the course was being endorsed by industry, which it was not.
McDonald bought both businesses after they were well established. And isn't that just one hand feeding the other?
No, I don't see that. Like, look, we haven't done anything wrong. Like, we're providing value in the industry. The nutrition industry is ripe for disruption.
Dr. Josh Sutherland and his colleagues have been fighting for the nutrition certificate to be downgraded to Health Promotion Officer, and they've just won. Training watchdog ASQA telling us it was changed to reflect a more appropriate level, aligned with the qualifications outcomes. But Vast Fitness Academy is refusing to fall into line.
And if nutrition's been on your radar, this is your moment.
It's still advertising and accepting payment for the Certificate in Nutrition course.
We dispute it.
Really?
We've already filed an appeal against ASQA, and we're prepared to go to the highest courts in the land to fight it if we need to.
So, should the thousands of students like Camilla Thompson still call themselves nutritionists? Depends on who you ask.
Absolutely not. And fundamentally, that is because they do not have the degree minimum in nutrition.
But Camilla says she's a certified nutritionist. Is she?
I think that's the big kind of grey area in the space. Like, the term nutritionist in Australia is not necessarily a regulated term. No one has ownership of that term.
We asked Camilla Thompson if she would switch to the new title of Health Promotion Officer. She didn't answer, instead pointing us to her Bachelor of Science degree from the Open University, majoring in psychology, and flooding the internet with her own Kool-Aid.
My book was written to empower and inspire people to make better health choices so they can live longer, healthier, happier lives.
Unfortunately, people that are doing these courses, taking the information out of context and then advertising themselves in a certain way to be clickbaity, to gain traction, etc.
And the Australian Skills and Qualifications Association won't comment further on Vast Fitness training as investigations are ongoing. Ash Barty is expanding her property portfolio, making a surprising purchase in the middle of nowhere. She's calling in some big names to help whip it into shape, but not all is as it seems.
Home sweet home, eh? Needs a bit of work. Oh, good. I know some traders.
She retired from tennis, and superstar Ash Barty has bought a fixer-upper. Enroll the tradies. Like Ash, all retired legends.
Beautiful Macedonian.
They're from the AFL world.
Words close, boys.
League stars.
Chiefs orders.
Cricketers.
Looks like a shortcut. That sounds like a dare.
They're all part of a new multi-million-dollar Kia Tasman ad, which premieres tomorrow night. A sequel to last year's blockbuster.
Hall of Famer coming through. 34 Origins, 7 Australian Opens,
23,000 nautical miles.
and a Clyde Churchill medal. Halfbacks. Oi. The Kia Buddy.
The first ad was an expensive teaser for the new Ute. This time around, the car is actually on the market. At 2.18 metres tall or 7'2" on the old scale, basketball legend Luke Longley takes the mickey out of his height and stars with AFLW guru Erin Phillips.
This one's going overtime.
You guys need a ladder? I reckon we'll be right.
Ladders.
Luke's cast as a painter because he played all of his basketball in the paint as a big man, feeding the ball to Michael Jordan at the Chicago Bulls.
Longley.
Yeah, well, I love the sight of my ute, my Tasman, when it pulled up on set to be my tradie ute, and they had it in the paint, was my painting company with the shape of a basketball keyway. And yeah, I've obviously just given it a lot of thought, and all my lines have got basketball references in them.
Collingwood great Peter Dacos says he won't be starring in the next Tom Cruise blockbuster.
I'm not going to sit by the phone and wait for Hollywood, but no, look, it's. I think I got a little bit of tidying up to do when it comes to my acting.
But his cameo is better than a pass. He's a marble installer with a play on his famous nickname.
Beautiful Macedonian marble. You're going to love it.
Yeah, I'm the Macedonian marble. So a bit of play on what I was known as a footballer, the Macedonian marble.
Dane Swan is Barty's neighbour. He has a company called Dane's Party Supplies, a reference to his reputation as a guy who went hard on the AFL field, but even harder off it.
What are the neighbours like? Quiet as a mouse.
Ashley? I'm happy to be the party supplier, mate. It's very true in real life, so I might as well throw it over the ad.
Footy legend Jeff Tuvey did it all on the field, but this comment, when he was coaching Manly, will live with him forever.
That's ridiculous. There's got to be an investigation into this.
When he turns up as a plumber, of course, the famous line is rolled out.
It's ridiculous. There's got to be an investigation.
Barty won Wimbledon on grass, and she hires great mate Pat Rafter to sort out her turf. Rafter made the Wimbledon final twice, but never won.
G'day, Ash. Best on grass. Hey, Pat, did you come up with that one all by yourself?
Yeah, I did actually. Thanks.
It says he's best on grass, but there's a problem. He didn't win Wimbledon. He made the final twice, and you won it. So why did you hire him?
Well, my husband wasn't available. We have the best grass, I can say, at home. So I went second best option and thought we'd give Pat a ring.
Shouldn't you have made him the concreter? He was best on hardcore with the US Opens.
Yeah, you've tipped it there.
Yeah, you've stuffed up.
What about you, Pat? Have you bought a fixer-upper?
Yes, and my wife loves it. And the thing is, when you have a wife who's so passionate about doing it in their style, I have zero say.
Now, Pat, your wife's not watching.
There she is.
Did she stuff anything up in the fixer-upper?
There is only one right answer here, Pat. One right answer.
I don't really care, to be honest. You know, like, I'm pretty laid back when it comes to living in the house. Have a big garage, nice kitchen where people like to congregate. Outside of that, you know, the house just takes care of itself.
Now, I have to ask, you're both tennis superstars. If you weren't a tennis star and you had to be a tradie, what sort of tradie would you be?
Probably something in landscaping. Like, I love being outside. So I wouldn't trust myself to touch anything structurally inside a home, but can look after a plant.
What about you, Pat?
Yeah, jack of all trades, and not very good at any of them.
Of all the funny parts for the ad for the Tasman, living legend Rafa Nadal delivers the best moment.
I know a guy who can do terracotta tiles. Hola!
I am flat out. Is it the trashy?
He's dreaming.
Okay, still cold?
The tennis champion dialed into a current affair from Spain. Do you know what a cashy is in Australian vernacular? It's a bit of slang here in Australia that we like to use with each other. Had you heard of it before?
Yeah, I heard before. Well, it's like, it's a funny thing.
Yeah.
It's an Australian expression, no?
It sure is, Rafa. Everyone loves a cashy.
Well, if it's a cashy, we want to know, where's Pat Cash? Up next, Rowena's close call. She could have lost her life savings until she saw this cosmic con on her TV.
He played on my deepest, darkest fears.
Put the pedal to the plastic. Hold on to your bricks. It's a high-octane night. Today's build is all about a Hollywood-level car scene. Starring Australia's hottest movie star.
I'm just looking at some of the comments. Hamish looks like Ryan Gosling. Oh my god. Ozgoz. The hashtag I'm trying to start.
To make the semi-final. They look amazing. They'll need to drive to survive. For family! Next. Then, for the first time, we're in the incredible world of Harry Potter. Sunday at 7 on 9.
Crazy tasty, we're the sweetest snack for you.
Sweet.
Fully juicy.
Can you tell
when someone's lying is kind of a thing I do. So, who are you?
I am Felicity Price.
Both. I'm figuring out how to finally start enjoying this journey. Something is amiss. Tell me that you didn't kill her. That might be foolproof.
Game on, Charlie Kale.
The new season of Poker Face. Stream now, only on Stan.
Minds of Stays. A laid-back beach house is right for some, but not right for others. Find exactly what you're booking for. Booking.com.
On now, the big whopping toy sale. With over 500 toys and tech on sale, it's too big to miss. Big W's big whopping toy sale. In store and online.
You haven't shopped around until you've tried Yui. Huh?
You should shop around if you're not happy with your car insurance. Or your barber.
For award-winning customer satisfaction, make the change to Yui. You insured.
The Good Guys has epic deals on now. Get $1,000 off this Samsung QLED TV. This TCL top-mount fridge, $595. This Roborock robotic vacuum, $697. $300 off this Acer laptop. Plus more epic deals only at The Good Guys.
Out on the patio, we'd sit, and the humidity we'd breathe. We'd watch the lightning crack over cane fields, laugh and think, this is Australia.
Colorbond, made by Australia.
There's a lot of potential in 10 weeks, especially when it's 10 weeks free from NIB. Just join any combined NIB hospital and extras cover online by June 30th. NIB, potentially amazing.
Big banks talk about security, but understanding what it means to you, it's better to go bigger.
With multi-factor authentication and focus on helping customers bank safely online, join the bank that's bigger for you. Bendigo Bank, the better big bank.
Sensitivity is when you feel that short, sharp pain. Sensodyne Repair and Protect has Novomin. It forms strong reparative layer over sensitive teeth. Try Sensodyne. It works. Nobody does sensitivity like Sensodyne.
When your internet gives you lemons.
What?
Get Tangerine.
Go Harvey Norman. Buy now with no deposit, 16 months interest free on a participating Latitude credit card and get a bonus gift card up to $1,000. Shop our huge range now with no deposit, 16 months interest free from Latitude and get a bonus $100 gift card for every $1,000 you spend. New customers must be approved. Minimum finance $1,000. T's and C's, charges and exclusions apply. Equal monthly payment plan and monthly credit card fee currently $10.95 applies. Don't miss no deposit, 16 months interest free from Latitude at Harvey Norman now.
Rowena was shocked when she saw her astrologer on TV, right as she was about to hand over $20,000 for his services. It turns out he used the same hocus-pocus rituals to rip off other clients. The cases are stacking up. Now police are involved.
Govindu, the man who reckons he can solve all your problems but empties your wallet instead.
As soon as I saw his face come up on my screen, like I just had a sickening feeling in the pit of my stomach. And I thought, oh my God, this is the guy.
Govindu is a so-called spiritual god.
The blockage is very dangerous. First you need to clear that.
But he didn't see us coming.
You claim that you can solve business problems, sexual problems, voodoo. How do you do that? How do you stop separation?
I think you
Oh no, Govindu, we know who you are.
No, sorry.
We know who you are.
We exposed him for scaring clients into paying a fortune to perform bizarre rituals.
This person, this individual has scammed me $67,000.
$67,000?
Correct.
That's a lot of money.
Yes.
He started saying there are souls of 3 little children inside you that
can cause too much harm, which could even lead to your death in an early age.
Why are you telling your customers to cough up thousands of dollars or threatening that their kids will die?
Who told I am astrology?
We weren't falling fool to his woo-woo. Do you know what scam means?
I don't know.
Because you, Govindu, are a scam astrologist.
Sorry for that. I'm not an astrologist.
Yes, you are, Govindu. It's a face Rowena can't forget.
But this is the guy who was about to scam me. Or he did already for $2,000 and was about to scam me a further $20,000.
Like his other victims, she was lost in life looking for answers when she booked an astrology reading with Govindu.
I was, struggling in terms of my family life and just personally as well. Being from the culture where astrology does play a big part, people do seek answers via astrology, but he's kind of taken it to the extreme.
And just like the person we sent for a reading at Govindu's suburban Brisbane rental, he played the fear card on Rowena in his makeshift miracle room.
We need to clear that. We need to destroy that problem.
He played on my deepest, darkest fears, on how I'd lose everything, anything that was precious to me, my kids.
Govindu pressured her to cough up $2,000 for a ritual.
If I didn't do any of this, I'd just forever stay in this darkness.
She was told to bring him items of her kids' belongings.
He asked for their pieces of clothing as well. And he said he was going to do some prayers with it. And he had like a broom-like thing which he kept on hitting me with.
He was hitting you with the broom?
Yes, because he was trying to get the evil out of me.
Oh my goodness. It just keeps getting weirder and weirder, doesn't it?
Yeah. Then he started to tell me he's captured the spirit or the evil, but how it's just so deadly. We need to bury it somewhere.
So the ritual to bury this spirit would cost $20,000.
Yes.
That's when things turned really bizarre.
So when I said I didn't have that money at the moment, he called someone, and then about 5 minutes later, he showed me like a live stream, numerous people sitting around a bonfire in black clothing. It sounded like they were doing some sort of a prayer, but then my kids' photos were like there.
How close were you to handing over that $20,000?
Very. But I didn't know what I was going to do. I thought I was going to have to sell my shares. I rang a friend. She was like, please don't do it. Knocked some sense into me. And if I hadn't spoken to her, I would have somehow gotten that money.
Govindu's rebranded his website. That's still up. Police told us they're aware of the matter and are now conducting inquiries.
So instead of doing good via astrology, he's doing evil.
And for $20,000, you hope he could bury more than a few spirits. Well, up next, Cara and Sarah stood up to protect other women from a monster. Now their persistence has paid off. But I won't stop until he is deported.
4 big nights, 4 big issues. The new Parental Guidance event series. Soon on 9.
Jayco's Great Escape End of Financial Year stock clearance is now on. Jump into Jayco with huge end of financial year savings across the Jayco range. For great prices from Australia's biggest manufacturer, visit Jayco Watson's Coffs Harbour today.
Vodafone's doubled its network coverage.
Double coverage activated.
To celebrate, get double data. That's a massive 100 gigs for just $39. Don't miss out. Offer ends soon. Make your move to Vodafone.
A Spotlight Spot Take bargain sale, save 30 to 50% off Manchester, 50% off sheets and towels, and 40% off quilt cover sets, quilts and pillows. So you can shake it, dry it, and snuggle it for less. All backed by our bargain guarantee. Starts tomorrow. At Spotlight, it's what you make it.
Booking.com has all kinds of stays.
La la!
Because what's right for some
That a mirror?
might not be right for others. Find exactly what you're booking for. Booking.com, booking.yeah.
With Light and Easy, you're cooking less, eating better, and getting great results.
I've lost 43 kilos myself. Troy has lost 53 kilos. You don't even feel like you're on a diet because there's so much variety and so much flavour.
Enjoy a healthier, better life with Light and Easy.
It's an ice bath.
Feel good?
I'm okay.
Eat Well Soup from Heinz.
Harris Scarf Friends 20 to 50% off store-wide sale is on now. That's right, 20 to 50% off store-wide. Save big on bedding, kitchen, electrical and more. Don't miss out. Sale ends soon. Conditions apply. Harris Scarf. Great brands, great prices.
G'day, I'm Russell Coit. Clearing fallen trees is a part of life in the sticks. Lucky for these show ponies in that flashy new ute, I've come prepared, because there are no shortcuts out here. Except for that one.
Mitsubishi's most capable leader. Nothing can frighten a Triton.
10-year warranty, it's almost a decade.
Get what you pay for with Kubota's small to mid-sized tractors. From the compact but mighty BX series to the problem-solving L series and the tough as nails MX series. Kubota delivers durability season after season. Speak to Wongmak Trading today to learn more.
Upgrade your home today. At TT Shutters and Shedding, we supply and install premium shutters, blinds, curtains and awnings. Designed for style and built to last. Call now for your free measure and quote. TT Shutters and Shedding Ballina, where style meets function.
Best Sheds up to 40% cheaper. American Parts from $8,900.
Best Sheds 25% off sale is on right now.
Call Best Sheds on 1-800-15-17-18 or check out our range at bestsheds.com.au.
Well, girls and boys, it's been another very exciting day for our friend Big Dog. Lots of adventure and fun for everyone. But now it's time for Big Dog to say goodnight. Good night, Big Dog. Good night, girls and boys. Sweet dreams.
Jay was a footballer who had charm, but really he just preyed on women. Then he met Sarah and Cara, and we're pretty sure he wishes he never did. They fought to deport him, and guess what? He's gone.
I'm scared. I've moved homes. I've gone interstate. I have taken as much precaution as I can to protect myself and my family, but I won't stop until he is deported.
Sarah Fadi and Cara Greedy stood up for women around the country. They lobbied the federal government to deport Jay Hart, a man they say was preying on women in the most abhorrent ways.
I really, really hope that putting ourselves out there right now will save someone from having to live with this hurt for the rest of their lives.
Cara and Sarah bravely shared their stories with us about the man they called a monster, and their words have been heard. Since our report last month, Jay Hart has been deported back to the UK. Immigration Minister Tony Burke acted swiftly and is now working to streamline the process to ensure anyone in Australia on a visa deserves to be here.
And good riddance. That's our program. Origin is on tomorrow. Don't let the colour of the suit fool you. We'll be back Thursday. I'm Ali Langdon. Thanks for your company. Have a great night.